Thanks for tuning in to 101.3 BKMG The Farce, coming to you live from separate places, pre-recorded. Now presenting The Bane and Mickey Show. Welcome to the Bane and Mickey Show. Here we go, it's the Bane and Mickey Show.
I love it. That was beautiful. Hey, Gavin.
Hey, Kendall.
What weighs 6 ounces, sits in a tree, and is very dangerous?
A sparrow with a machine gun.
What was the other part to that? Was there another part? There's no other part. That's all.
Welcome to the Riddle Podcast, where we just tell riddles back and forth.
Riddle me this. Riddle me this.
Riddle me this, riddle me that.
Yeah.
What's as a show with a big man bat?
Sure. Clearly, Gavin and I both failed our Riddler audition.
Speak for yourself.
I actually do have a Riddler costume. I don't know about you.
I actually did almost buy one.
I made mine. I didn't
Wow,
buy
you're
it.
cool.
I mean, I bought a jacket,
Not all of us are as
but
crafty
then I painted on it,
as you are.
and then I built a staff.
Not all of us are as crafty as you, Kendall.
Yeah, I know. This was before I realized props and production design were like a career. I made this in high school.
Very
And then
good.
realized people actually get paid to do that.
So now you're trying to get paid to do it.
Yeah, that's the end goal, you know?
So far, not so good. But it's fine. Everything is fine.
Yeah.
If you haven't picked up on it, we're talking about Batman.
Batman. Yes, today
Let's kill
and
Batman.
then for the next couple days, the next
Couple
couple
weeks.
weeks,
Podcast,
we have a
whatever.
3-part.
Depending on how you're listening to this.
We have a 3-part. I don't know. Maybe you're listening to it all in one day. Who knows? Which catch up on stuff. Do better. Listen to things weekly. Unless you're re-listening, that's fine. That's great. Anyways, for the next 3 episodes, we have a little 3-parter where we're talking about Batman in various forms because there's so many that we couldn't just cut it down to 45 minutes.
Because
Or
we
an
didn't
hour.
think you'd want to listen to that one single long
One single like 5-hour podcast.
Now you're going to listen to 3 2-hour podcasts.
So it's still 6 hours.
Just kidding.
No.
They're not 2
No.
hours.
Yeah. But yeah, so today we're going to talk about kind of the early Batmans, where it started and how Batman truly began, at least in a television
Filmic and
film
television
sense. Yeah.
sense. But we're not going to get into the animated series because that's a whole other podcast that we're not going to be able to touch on.
Fair, yeah, true.
But first, Kendall, have you seen anything good recently?
Yeah, I just started watching the MacGyver reboot from 2016. It's pretty decent so far. It does have some like cliche dumb things, but Mac and Jack's relationship is really great. And you know, if you just like, I mean, he calls it DIY or die. But if you just like, you know, watch what would you like on the go? Like, I don't know. For someone who hasn't ever seen MacGyver or heard about MacGyver, MacGyver was a show from like the 60s about this guy who, a spy and government services agent who he's just really good at science and like making things out of nothing. And so like making a bomb out of like a paperclip and a can of beer or whatever. So that's why it's DIY or die. But because they get into a lot of life-threatening situations where, like, for example, they had to jump out of a burning building, like, 100 feet down. They didn't have anything to land on because it was an empty parking lot, so he, like, took some body bags and some fire extinguishers, and they attached it to their backs and made, like, cushion things to fall on. You know, or he did an operation from the back of a car using a car jack and shit. It's fun. It's interesting. I really like it. Yeah.
The new one has Lucas Till
It
in
does.
He was Havoc in
Yeah.
the X-Men
Yeah.
franchise.
He was really young when he was in X-Men too.
He kind of looks the same, though.
A little bit.
The new old one though had Richard Dean Anderson, who was on Stargate, the show, not the movie.
And Lucas Still's done a pretty good job so far. I mean, it's it's one of those big roles to live up to because it's so well known. But yeah, it's pretty good. There's a little more narration than I would like, but most of the time the narration is because he's describing what he's doing and the science behind what he's making. So it's fine. It's like, I like to say, it's like James Bond and Indiana Jones kind of meshed together with a little bit more, with the Mythbusters, actually. Which, if you're a nerd like me and you grew up watching the Mythbusters every week because you had nothing else to do, they have some really good MacGyver episodes where they like take tricks that MacGyver did from the original MacGyver that he did, and then they like test out to see how they built like an escape room kind of thing to see if they could use these MacGyver tricks. They're really, really good. Anyways, what have you watched, Gavin?
Before that, the most heartbreaking revelation of my life was when I realized that Adam and Jamie from Mythbusters were not actually friends, and they did not like each other at all.
Everything is a lie. But the trio, Grant, Tori, and Carrie, are good friends.
Grant, R.I.P.
Have you? This is so off topic. Did you ever watch the White Rabbit series that they put together? The trio.
A little bit. I didn't watch it that much though.
Yeah, it was good. It was like a rebirth of Mythbusters in a way.
That's kind of what I heard about it.
It was kind of nostalgic, but sad because it's not Jamie and Adam. But it's fine. Adam has a YouTube channel where he builds a bunch of whatnot.
Prop stuff.
Yeah, a lot of prop stuff.
I watched. I rewatched the Ocean's trilogy 11, 12, and 13.
Yeah.
Oh yes, I remember really liking those.
Are they as good as?
And I have seen Ocean's 8. For anybody wondering,
do they hold up?
I also thought it was good.
Still.
They actually held up pretty well.
Okay.
The second one is it's the worst one, but some people really don't like it. I still like it. It's kind of cool. They aren't robbing a casino, but that's fine.
Well, speaking of...
It still has an interesting twist in it.
Yeah.
But speaking
of robbers and
casinos
and lots of money and heists and DIY and shit.
Some days you just can't get rid of a bomb.
You just really can't. Yeah. We're going to start right at the beginning with Batman, the movie.
Sort of the beginning.
From 1966.
There's one iteration previous to Adam West's Batman. I don't remember who was Batman in it, but the most famous beginning is
Adam West and what's his name? Adam West and Burt Ward as the dynamic duo, and they had a television show for like 2 years, and then...
Really? 2 years? I thought it was longer than that.
I really don't think so.
There's 120 episodes. There's no way it was just 2 years.
Well...
3 seasons.
Yeah. Okay. Anyways, so they had a TV show, and midway through, they were like, people love this, so we're going to make a movie.
Yep.
And I don't know about you, but I grew up watching this movie like every week. We had it on VHS. I don't remember how old I was when I first watched it. I had to be like 5 or 6, maybe younger. I just know we watched it with some family friends that were like staying over while their parents were like out of town or whatever. I don't remember if they brought it over or if we rented it from somewhere, but yeah, that was probably one of the first times we watched it, and then we got a copy of it, and I just remember watching it a lot. 'Cause it's funny, it's campy, it's the TV show is kind of made for kids in a way. None of the villains are like terribly villainous. They're all very like taken comedically in a way.
It's a lot more fun and fancy free.
Yeah.
Than
it's very light-hearted in a way, in that it's lighthearted for Batman. I mean, it's superheroes for kids. I don't know. But yeah, the movie itself, I watched a couple of the TV episodes, but they weren't running or anything. I wasn't born in the 60s. I wish, but, no, I don't actually.
I really don't. I don't wish that. I kind of do, but then I'm like, also, I don't want to live in the 60s.
No, but I think we probably rented some of the television series at various points, when you could rent TV shows
Hmm.
from
I,
Blockbuster,
I
RIP.
I found the other two people who played Batman before Adam West.
Ah.
There was one guy's name was Lewis Wilson.
Mm-hmm.
He did a 15-part serial in 1943, and Robert Lowry did another serial in 1949.
Okay. So a couple other TV
So,
shows, just not as well
but Adam
known.
West's 1966 is like the big one.
Yeah, it's the big one. Um, and Burt Ward. Uh,
Hmm.
which honestly, I love Burt Ward. This is the series that kind of mastered the like holy canary Batman, like all of the holy
Holy
insert
rusted metal Batman.
yeah insert word Batman jokes that you see in like memes all the time and literally come. I mean, yeah,
That's where a lot of that comes from.
but yeah, a lot of yep, all down to Burt Ward. Um, yeah, this movie just has so much nostalgia in it. It's beautiful.
It's
Um,
super cheesy,
it's so
super campy.
cheesy.
In a
It's
lot of ways, it's
so
not a good
iconic.
movie, but
It's
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 very
so
entertaining.
yeah. Oh my gosh. When they're when they're climbing up the wall, and it's literally they literally just filmed it
Yes.
sideways, but it's the best the best thing. 60s special effects. All of the villains are in this movie for the most part.
Hmm.
It's great because you don't really get that a whole lot, I think.
It was, yeah, Frank Gorshin is the Riddler,
Mm-hmm.
Lee Merriweather is Catwoman,
Burgess Meredith
Caesar
is the
Romero,
Penguin.
Burgess
Um,
Meredith. I think that's it. I know that the show, I'm pretty sure they do like a Mr. Freeze and a
yeah, yep, they
Scarecrow,
do
a
have
King
them.
Tut. I know they exist, but they don't show up in the movie. It's just kind of the big, more famous ones.
Yeah.
I feel like Burgess Meredith is a pretty iconic penguin.
Oh, yeah. And he's kind of the intake, like he's kind of leading the villains in this one, with
Hmm.
Riddler kind of being a dumbass half the time, and Catwoman has a little love interest thing with Bat. She's trying to get
As
the
always.
insider secrets on Batman. Bruce Wayne sort of figuring out who he really is. Um,
Do you remember the scene where I don't know if it was, I think it was in this movie, or there's at least a clip of it where Bruce Wayne has to talk to Batman,
oh my
and
gosh.
he's with the police chief of police. Is it the movie or is it like a clip from the show or something? Because I've definitely seen it and it's hilarious.
I want to say it's the movie, but I might be terribly wrong. Everyone's gonna hate
Anyway, it's a
us.
scene that happened and it's funny. That's all you really need to know about it.
Yeah. Can we just talk about Batman's mask for a second? He has this really weird, like, drawn on, like, nose bone structure and,
Hmm.
like, eyebrows, and it honestly looks like it's chalk. It's not
It
because
does.
it doesn't get smeared off or anything, but it looks like take the regular black Batman mask, and then if you drew chalk, white eyebrows, and like the outline of the nasal structure. It's so fucking
Hmm.
weird, but it's just iconic. It's part of that campy.
It's kind of funny because it looks like a face mask, sort of, with cloth around it. It's honestly, it's
Yeah.
like the one in Holy Musical Batman,
Oh my
which we'll
gosh.
talk about
Yes.
on one of the other ones.
Yeah. I love this. There it's very colorful again. It's
Hmm.
all of the villains have they're very colorful, and iconic in a way. Um,
A
just very
lot
bright.
more
Like Riddler is this bright
comic come to
green,
life.
bright purple. Um, Joker has a bright, like kind of magenta suit. Yeah, they're just very brought to life, comic-y,
And
whatever.
like, if you look at the comics at the time, they almost look lifted off the
Uh huh.
page.
Uh huh.
Like, it's the brightness, the colors, the costumes, the design, the whole thing is really just like, bam.
Yeah, I found it interesting in this version, and I think kind of in earlier comics too, just that like Batman is well received in Gotham. You know,
Hmm.
um, there's no negativity towards vigilantism compared to like
Hmm.
every other Batman reiteration. Something happens to where nobody likes Batman or vigilantes. Well, I mean that's kind of like a theme in like a lot of superhero, like even like Spider-Man. You know, they're like, oh, get rid of Spider-Man's dumb. Why is he? It's the police's job to do stuff. But
Hmm.
but then again, also Batman and like Gordon always have a really close relationship.
And Gordon's actually not in that series, or at least he's
Yeah,
not
he
in the
is.
show.
Oh,
He's not in the movie.
he's in the movie.
No, he's not. It's not him. I
Commissioner
was
Gordon,
looking at it
Neil
right now.
Hamilton.
It's not him.
Why
It's
is
a
he
different
credited
captain.
as him then?
Or
There's a
it's a different
captain
dude.
and a chief and a
Oh
commodore.
no, I take it back. There it is. The guy I was thinking of though wasn't Gordon.
Yeah. So there is a
All right, I
Gordon,
take it
but he
back. I
doesn't
take it
have
back.
like the biggest like Gordon role. You know, they focus
Which
a lot
is
more on.
interesting because like he's in a lot of the older stuff, like even in the basically every other iteration up until like Batman Begins, Gordon does not have a big
He
role in
doesn't. Yeah,
anything because he's not in. I mean, he shows up in the Tim Burton ones and the Joel Schumacher ones, but
but
he's like
they're not really
he's almost
involved.
he's like a
Yeah.
do nothing character that's pretty much useless and
Yeah.
terrible.
It's weird and interesting. Gavin, pass me the shark repellent bat spray. Can we
Quick,
just talk about
pass
that
me
rubber shark?
the shark. Or the whole scene and how Batman was completely unscathed.
Right. He had a little like not even a tiger shark, like a dog shark almost, like a bite onto his leg,
Mm-hmm.
and he's hitting it with his hand.
Quick, Robin.
And it's
pass
honestly
me
just this rubber
that shark repellent.
like this 4 or 5 foot rubber like weird foam it's so dumb, but it's so great. That whole oh my gosh. Yeah, and then Robin has to like climb down this those ladders, rope ladders are so hard to use, especially off helicopters. I don't know why they always make it look so easy because it's impossibly hard to climb one of those when it's flying in the air. But yeah, so then Robin's like trying to climb down and he has to pass off the bat spray or the shark's repellent, whatever.
And he does like a weird trapeze move where he like hangs upside down.
Yeah, it's like,
Gets
what is the point of that? But it's great because it's, Dick Grayson.
The point is to show that he can do it.
Right. And yeah, just Adam West in his Batman glory. I want to say, I feel like Robin doesn't come up a whole lot except for Batman and Robin, but like I feel like we kind of forgot about Robin for a second in various iterations of Batman, but I just love Burt Ward. He's such a great Robin.
He's super fun and he's just like, yeah, I'm a little kid.
Right. Yeah, he really captures that young energy that is Robin. Like everyone seems to forget that Robin is a fucking like 15-year-old, not even that, I mean, not in this one. He's a little older, obviously, but he still has that young energy, and it's great.
Mm-hmm.
And just that classic Robin uniform.
Where he's not wearing pants.
Yeah, and he's got a t-shirt on. It's like, what is happening? And his little like mini cape. Oh, it's great. It's beautiful. Anyways, love this movie. If you haven't seen it, go watch it because then you'll understand all the references.
Killed by a robin? Killed by a robber! No, a robin.
A robin. He's so sweet.
God, it must be huge. It's quite small, actually.
Yeah, and then this whole film has a series of riddles that make absolutely no sense.
And the way they leap to him is like, C for Catwoman.
Right, that whole scene where they're trying to establish who the villain is, and they make the biggest leaps, and it's like, what the fuck?
It's kind of how all riddles should be. Like, if you're a logical person, you're not going to get it. But if you're the world's greatest detective and the boy wonder, you got it.
Oh, you got it.
They're not even big leaps. It's like,
they're not.
C.
Catwoman, duh. It was, but also it was on the sea. A penguin. Penguin did it. Like, what the fuck? But if you're, what was the, and then I don't even know. Okay. It's great. Anyways, we could talk about that one for days. So let's continue on to...
Let's fast forward about 23 years.
Batman, 1989. Directed
Burton, Tim.
by Tim Burton, written by Bob Kane and Sam Hamm. Oh my gosh, that's a
Was it
great
really?
Sam Hamm. I am. Um, and Warren Scarron. Why does everyone's name like rhyme? Um, this was a
It
great
was the
one.
80s, man.
Honestly, this was a great one. Michael Keaton as the Batman, Jack Nicholson as the
Mhm.
Joker. I mean, those are two big names right up there. You got Billy D. Williams as Harvey Dent.
Unfortunately,
Slash,
no reprisal.
yeah.
Pat Hingle as Commissioner Gordon. He's like the only actor that stays throughout the whole thing.
Mm-hmm. Um,
Kim Basinger.
I really like Michael Keaton in this role, and I love Jack Nicholson anyways, but he does a really great introduction to. This is kind of this was right before Dick Tracy came out. Dick Tracy came out in like what 90, I think,
Hmm.
and you just get and it's Tim Burton, and so you get the dark Tim Burton, but it's really gothic and it's beautiful and it's colorful.
Oh, it's great.
Um, and this is kind of the start, like base inspiration for the progression of this dark Gotham, like you know,
It's sort of the inspiration for like the Gotham how we imagine it today.
right. And even then, I mean, in the '80s, I think we in the '80s is when comics really started to take a twist and become darker and wretched and kind of more graphic novels in a sense. And so
Hmm.
the this film takes that and builds that really dark world. Like I mean, Gotham is a highly villainous place, and you know, yeah. And this is a really big contrast when you meet the Joker in this one, especially played by Jack Nicholson, compared to
Hmm.
how it's done in the 1966 Adam West. He's
Hmm.
he's insane. He's psychopathic.
Gangster. He
He's
actually
a
has more of
Yeah, he's
a
part of the
drive to
mob.
be in
Like,
control.
and
Because
and
like the old
we
one,
get to
sorry.
see Joker's origin story, or one of his origin
Hmm.
stories. Joker doesn't really have an official origin story, more or less, because in the comics there's so many various versions, but you can kind of always base it back. I mean, they always take, like, everyone wants to take the basis of being, yeah, he fell into a vat of acid, blah blah blah, and then his name is fucking
Jack Napier.
Jack Napier, which is not always true in the comics, but they do take one of the comic arcs and give Joker a background for this one,
I feel like one of
which
the
I think they
more
do
common
well.
threads with his backstory is the vat of acid, with the exception being the newest version of Joker, where he's just
Right.
depressed and everything. But usually, I feel like the vat of acid plays a big part in it. There's
That's usually
also
what people go to. That's like the go-to
yeah,
version.
it's also the basis for the animated series, which again
Oh,
we're not really
uh-huh.
getting into, but a lot of the visuals and style all
Yeah,
come from that.
yeah.
Thanks, Tim
Um,
Burton.
but this is also this is where Joker starts wearing like heavy makeup um,
Hmm.
to cover up his scars, and he's got his green hair because it was affected by the acid.
You know
Um,
how the acid changes your hair color.
right, and then his smile, which was part of the plastic surgery. But
It wasn't plastic surgery; it just happened. Also,
no, he had plastic surgery after the whatever.
well, he had plastic surgery, but the smile was not from
Okay, well, anyways,
that.
um, Jack Nicholson does a brilliant job, as he does with everything. Um, and I think he's a great choice to kind of introduce this insanity of a character. Um,
Hmm.
and you can really see like inspiration from Jack Nicholson's Joker into like Dark Knight, Heath Ledger, or the new one with Joaquin Phoenix in the Joker. You can really see the turn um, and whatnot. I think I just looked this up too. When did The Killing Joke come out? I
It
just
came
looked it up.
out 2017, I think.
1988
That's what it's. Oh,
is
the
when the
comic, not the movie.
comic
Sorry, I
came
was
out.
confused on what you're talking about.
So this is also,
Yes. Oh, the
they
Killing Joke
also
is
had The
good.
Killing Joke,
Not the
which
movie
is
so
like
much.
a graphic novel that really dives into Joker. That came out right before this film, and so that was a real big inspiration for kind of this character in
The
this.
book is good.
Yeah, The Killing Joke, the comic came out in '88, so it was like right before this. So I can see how they could kind of take some of those dark inspirations.
Moments from it.
Yeah.
Yeah. The the book is good. The movie's not so much. But that's fine. This
Yeah.
also is where we get like the more paternal, fatherly Alfred with Michael Goff, who portrays him in these movies throughout. Oh, I guess he also sticks through the quadrilogy. Anyway, that's sort of where we get like the more fatherly figure of Alfred and less of just like he's the butler.
Right, right. And yeah, and then even going back to Gordon is like not really
I mean, he's in it. He's just
in
sort
it,
of
but again, he's not really involved. Um, but yeah. Um, Goals, just to have an acting credit that says Goon. Bob.
Those will be all my acting credits.
And then
if
just
I ever
Goon.
get any more.
Anyways, side tangent.
And then we get into, after this, and the other Tim Burton one.
Batman Returns.
Arguably better than the first one, but
yeah. This has
at least
Danny
just as good.
DeVito playing Penguin, Michelle Pfeiffer as Catwoman.
Yeah, more.
Pat Hingle comes back as Gordon, and Michael Goff.
I think it's
Michael Goff.
Christopher Walken.
That makes sense because it's like Van Gogh. Well, but spelled with a U. Yeah, Christopher Walken's in this.
He plays.
Michael Keaton makes a return as Batman.
Shrek. Thank goodness. See, he returned. It's right there on the title.
Again, it's Tim Burton, so it continues with those dark, gothic world. Daniel Waters wrote the screenplay for this one, with Sam Hamm coming back for story.
It feels more kind of refined than the first one. Like he sort of got into a rhythm and knew what he wanted from the movie and the characters and everything. And like Danny DeVito's Penguin is probably, sorry Burgess, more iconic.
He's a really great
in terms
Penguin.
Of character and just what you sort of think and expect from him.
Mm-hmm. In classic Tim Burton form, Danny Elfman does the music for both of these, for the first one and for Batman Returns. Roger Pratt did the Batman cinematography, and Stefan Zapsky did Batman Returns.
Zapsky.
Anton Furst was production design for the first one, and then we have Bo Welch for Batman Returns. It's kind of everyone kind of changed up for the return. Not a lot of people returned, except for Marion Doherty. She did casting, which was brilliant choices. Mwah. Chef's kiss.
Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, you've got iconic colors. It's that great like darkness contrasted with like brightly colored costumes, except for Penguin kind of has like a black and white, like dark costume kind of vibe going on. But otherwise you do get this really great colorful contrasty to darkness kind of thing. Yeah, iconic set pieces. Again, that Tim Burton like gothic, big buildings, church steeples, kind of thing. Huge, like, mansions.
Blimps. All the blimps in the world.
Oh my gosh. Honestly.
Every single blimp.
Every one. You get more. Yeah, with both of these, you do get those backstories and those origins on the characters, except for Batman. You don't really get a Batman. I mean, you get like flashbacks.
Mm-hmm. You get them in the first one, and they show up a little bit in Batman Forever as well.
Yeah, but in the first one, it's like actually, the first one does have a connection to like Jack Napier.
Oh, that was a good twist, though.
Yeah.
I gotta say, I
Um,
didn't see it coming.
but it's very, very brief, and it's really
Mm-hmm.
not lingered on at all, and it's very like not dramatic, really.
Mm-hmm.
Um, that yeah, Bruce and his parents are walking, and then all of a sudden there's a they're not. It's yeah, they don't dwell on it very long, and then yeah, you get some you get like a callback when his when the girl of interest like finds a news article and all these things, but
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, you find out it had to do with the mob and whatnot, and then Jack Napier comes in and you figure out. Anyways, plot twist. But you do get like some of the villain backstories to kind of give it like a you can watch this movie without having any comic um, influence or knowledge or context. So, which is great. You know, it expands the audience into a film sense and kind of introduces the character and the worlds to a larger fan base, which is always wonderful, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Um, shall we go to the next one?
If we must. If we were to do a complete history, I mean, actually, I think that Batman Forever. I mean, the next two are not nearly as. Actually, you know what? They're visually interesting
Visually
in their
interesting.
own way.
Casting is
Um,
again
it's
have
not
some of my
terrible. It's pretty
favorites.
good.
um, but
The only bummer is it's Val Kilmer as Batman instead of Michael Keaton.
yeah,
Not that there's anything inherently wrong with Val Kilmer as Batman.
I think Tommy Lee Jones. Okay, so sorry, we're moving on. Fast forwarding 3 years later, we have Batman Forever. This was directed by Joel Schumacher. Lee Batchelor and Janet Scott Batchelor and Akiva Goldsman wrote it. We have Tim Burton helped produce it, but he didn't direct this one. Yeah.
Val Kilmer's Batman.
Yep.
Tommy Lee Jones is
As
Two-Face and
Two-Face.
Harvey Dent.
Jim Carrey as the Riddler. Mwah. Chef's kiss.
So have you heard about what happened with Tommy Lee Jones and oh my gosh, Billy D. Williams?
No.
And how so originally Billy D. Williams signed on to be Harvey Dent because he wanted to be Two-Face.
Mm-hmm.
But
he didn't realize he also had to play Harvey Dent. No, I'm just kidding.
No. Well, he was going to be Harvey Dent so that he could play Two-Face in the future.
Oh,
but they really wanted Tommy Lee Jones, so they basically had to give Billy D a bunch of money so they could give Tommy Lee Jones the part.
Oh.
And he also didn't get along with Jim Carrey.
Damn. I mean, you go.
Billy D
That's
did
the
get
drama
chance to
of
voice
filmmaking.
Two-Face.
Yeah, he did voice him later.
All's well that ends well.
But I really like Tommy Lee Jones's Two-Face.
As do I.
I think it's a good one. And of course, Jim Carrey takes on a crazy iconic Edward Nygma like Riddler. Nicole Kidman comes in. Chris O'Donnell. I forgot that we do have Robin briefly a little bit.
Comes back. He's in about half of it. I would
Michael
say.
Goff.
He's actually in a pretty good chunk.
Yeah, Michael Goff and Pat Hingle come back. Drew Barrymore is in this, which I didn't even realize.
Yes, so
She plays like a.
So you know how Two-Face has in his little lair, he has half nice stuff, half kind of demon gothy stuff. She's on the nice side.
The nice girl.
It's like he's basically got two girlfriends, and she's the one all in white, dressed like an angel.
Yeah, yeah, I really like this one because we get to see both sides of we get to see the villains Two-Face and Riddler, but we also get to see their pseudonym or their what do you call it? We get to see villains. Harvey Dent and Edward Nygma quite a bit, which I really enjoy. Well, and I mean
more Nygma than
more Nygma.
Harvey Dent.
And again, that's also kind of like an origin thing for Nygma. We get Nygma is this big Batman fanboy, and then he kind of gets shot down, and then takes revenge. And he's a crazy smart inventor, scientist, weird dude, but brilliantly played by Jim Carrey. I mean, who better to take on the physicality and insane randomness? Although I will say the Riddler costume is kind of disappointing. And by kind of, I
I mean,
mean
which one?
greatly
There's like
disappointing.
a bunch of them.
Um,
I assume you mean the primary one that's basically just a onesie.
yeah, it's like a fucking onesie with question marks, and then he has this weird like bright ass red hair that like
Hmm.
I don't know. I don't know. It's fine. It's I've seen better. Um, but yeah, Val Kilmer isn't a terrible Batman, but
He's not as good as Michael Keaton.
yeah. Was there any like anything? Do you know anything about not why Michael Keaton didn't come back, or was that a yeah? So we have some returning faces, some new faces. Joel Schumacher. Um, some this one again has some great kind of visual elements and designs to it. It keeps up with that bright colorfulness contrasted with the dark Gotham. Um, and it kind of does play, especially with Riddler, it plays off of the 1966 version of kind of that over the top, over drama,
Characterization.
yeah, like sort of thing. Just looking at your notes and you're like, yes, bat nipples, but otherwise,
um, the Michael Keaton didn't want to come back for this because of script stuff. He's like, it wasn't that good,
yeah,
so he didn't come back,
that's fair.
which makes sense.
Um,
I'm sure he's a busy dude.
do you want to talk about bat nipples?
Well, firstly, yes, let's talk about it. Let's get right into it. Let's get all up in them. I will say, so I rewatched this recently within the last couple months, and it was not as bad as it is sort of blown up to be. Like, it's not
Yeah,
great. It's obvious. It's the weakest one for
it's a
sure.
classic
And
though.
bat nipples are the worst thing about it, I think.
And the onesie, the Riddler onesie.
Well, are we talking about Batman and Robin or Batman Forever?
Oh,
Because I was
either
talking about
one.
Batman and Robin.
Okay, moving
Well,
on to Batman
in
and
Batman
Robin,
Forever,
1997.
I thought we moved on.
Now we've moved on officially. I can't read words.
Okay, me either. It's fine.
So Batman and Robin, 1997. A couple years later, they're continuing the
Yes.
series. Uh, uh, Freaking Val Kilmer doesn't come back. Instead, we have George Clooney for Batman. But Chris O'Donnell comes
Not a
back as
terrible choice.
yeah. Chris O'Donnell comes back for Robin. Uma Thurman comes in as Poison Ivy. Good choices. Mwah.
Hmm.
Michael Goff and Pat Hingle once again coming back as Alfred and Gordon. And then
Arnold
freaking Arnold
Schwarzenegger.
Schwarzenegger as Mr. Freeze. Oh, and we do have Batgirl. Alicia Silverstone plays Batgirl.
Yes.
Um,
Cher from Clueless.
yeah, but yeah, so
I
there.
did not like the iteration of Batgirl in this. It was
Yeah,
very odd. I
yeah,
didn't like this. It was weird. She was related to Alfred instead of Gordon.
it was weird. Oh yes, okay, now I see the bad nipples. Yeah, they did a weird thing on their costumes. On Batman and Robin's costumes, they're very anatomically like tightly fitted. So you've got really broad, like a or a fairly defined chest and like unnatural aperture, and then they decided to put
Nipples.
nipples on the breasts. It's fine. It's weird. I don't know. um, again, very you're continuing kind of the style across all of these films continues very well. Um, let's talk about
It also
Mr.
has Bane
It
in
does have
it.
Bane.
I've one thing I don't like the way they did Bane a ton. I didn't like that he was pretty much just a muscle goon, but
Yeah,
I did like that he was Hispanic because in the comics he's Hispanic.
yeah, yeah. Um, I like Mr. Freeze's design.
I like his design. I don't feel like they totally nailed the character until like
Yeah,
there was like glimpses of it. They just made him, I feel like, too evil and world domination-y. Then I
yeah,
would have preferred a more subtle, like, I don't know. I guess a lot of it is about Poison Ivy manipulating him because all he seems Aside from the diamonds, I
Oh my
suppose.
god, there's so many ice thugs. Imagine having
Sorry,
that on your repertoire.
resume. Anyway, I just like so like in the end, he's a lot of his characters basically based around curing his wife of a disease,
Right.
and a lot of his motivation is around that. He's not super world domination-y or Gotham domination-y like he is
But they kind of
in
twisted
this
that.
movie.
Yeah, they kind of twisted it in this one. This one is also directed by Joel Schumacher, and then Akiva Goldsman came back to write. And we can credit that design to Barbara Ling, who did production design, and Ingrid Farron and Robert Terturis were costume design. So
Do we
good
really
stuff, good
want to
stuff.
attribute it to them, though?
I don't know.
Do they really want it attributed to them? The infamous bat nipples.
I don't know. Um, and then yeah, Uma Thurman, Poison Ivy. I really liked her costume too.
Hmm. I like Ivy in this. I think it's kind of interesting foreshadowing comic wise. So in the in Batman Forever, Robin's costume is like the more muscle fake design
Uh
thing,
huh.
but it looks more like his Robin costume, like with the red and the green. But in this one, it's like an all black suit with just the red on it, but like
Yeah.
on the shoulders and on the front, which is almost identical to his new 52 Nightwing design. But this
Yeah.
was before then. So I think it's a cool foreshadowing. I wonder if it was on purpose or
It's
if
like
it
a
just kind of happened that
foreshadowing.
way.
Yeah, and then it's
I don't know
also
if it's
like
foreshadowing,
a
just a cool coincidence.
yeah. Is it yeah, and then how much does that also like play into kind of not adjust like growing Robin to be Batman? You know, like he's not a
Hmm.
kid anymore. He's growing up.
Except for he's never really a kid in these movies. He looks like
No,
he's
yeah, he
20.
yeah. I don't know. I think these four visually connect quite well in in
I
in
mean, the
in that
first two and the last two,
right.
it's
But
sort of
they
weird. It's just.
still all have that they they've brought in that dark gothic beauty,
Mhm.
um, which is a great transition into what we see in Batman contemporarily in contemporary days.
Do we dare to compare the best Batman of these set of things we're talking about, namely West, Keaton,
Oof.
Kilmer, and Clooney?
Um.
I feel like at least between Keaton, Kilmer, and Clooney, it's sort of like apples and oranges comparing them to Adam West,
Yeah.
because Adam
Oh yeah.
West's whole thing is just way, way different.
Right.
Um,
I will always
it's
love
not the
Adam
same.
West as a nostalgic,
Hmm.
like OG kind of.
Adam West is like in a league of his own
Yeah,
because he's.
but I do really like Keaton, and he starts to grow that kind of angsty Bruce Wayne,
Mhm.
um, kind of hide yourself and push everyone else away sort of thing. So I really like that
I
for
really,
Keaton.
I really want to like George Clooney as Batman because it seems like it would be a perfect fit.
Hmm.
But I don't know. I feel like it just misses the mark, and that's not really his fault.
Yeah. How about all of these villains? They're all played by very, very big names too.
Hmm.
Which is like, I'm not gonna say good or bad, but like, I don't know.
Were they big at the time though? Like they're big and
Uh,
well known now, but I just
Nicholson
wonder
and
like,
Carrie were
yeah, Carey, Nicholson, Keaton for sure,
DeVito,
probably.
Schwarzenegger. I mean, like, yeah, they were.
Schwarzenegger definitely.
Uma
All right,
Thurman.
all right,
They all were.
all right, all right. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, I can't play favorites, but Riddler and Joker are my favorite villains, and I think these are some very great, uh, iconic casting choices. I would say Carrie is not my favorite Riddler, but he does play a very great Riddler.
I
Actually,
feel
I like
like
yeah, and I just love. I think Jack Nicholson did a great job. I don't
I
have a
think.
favorite Joker. I like them all
I mean, my favorite villains
for
are like
different
Mister
reasons.
Freeze, the Riddler, um, like Poison Ivy. I
but
like them as
yeah.
villains. I don't know how I would rank their performances in these movies. I would say
Mhm.
Penguin is probably the best portrayed
Mhm.
of all of
But
them.
I did really like Tommy Lee Jones as Two-Face. I think he did.
I mean, I think they all do their characters well and
You
sort of in
can't
a new and
compare
interesting
them.
way.
There's just,
It's
I don't know. If
I just
anything,
feel
it's
like
like writing and whatnot too, right? Like,
the best portrayal of a villain by an actor in a superhero movie that is Batman between 1989 and 1997 is Danny DeVito as the Penguin.
okay.
That'll be the new Oscars category. I'm
Oh
gonna
my gosh.
petition to get that started.
Did these win any awards? I didn't look that up. Ooh, okay. Batman 1989 won art
Wait, I
direction and
thought you
set
were getting.
decoration.
Wait, I thought I was getting the first two.
No, I said.
Kendall, do you
Well,
think
too late. I already
listened
got the first.
All right, well, I'm getting the last two right now.
So yeah, Batman 1989 got art direction and set decoration. This was one of the Tim Burton. This was the first Tim Burton one with Michael Keaton, and then it got nominated for various things across various festivals, but that was the only Oscar nominee.
So, Batman Forever got nominated for 3 Oscars.
Damn.
Best cinematography, best sound and best effects and sound effects editing. It did not win anything.
Yeah. Same with Batman Returns got nominated for best effects and visual effects as well as makeup, which we can account for. I mean, so many things, but Penguin in there, and then some of the clowns and stuff. But it didn't win. Yeah, it didn't win. It just got nominated.
Oh my gosh. Batman and Robin got nominated for so many Razzies. So Alicia Silverstone won the Razzie for Worst Supporting Actress.
That's an award.
Mm-hmm. So here's all the nominations that it got. Worst Picture.
Oh my god.
Peter McGregor Scott. Worst Screen Couple. George Clooney and Chris O'Donnell. Worst Supporting Actor Chris O'Donnell. Worst Supporting Actor Arnold Schwarzenegger. Worst Supporting Actress Uma Thurman. Worst Reckless Disregard for Human Life and Public Property. Worst Remake or Sequel. Worst Director.
Did it win these awards or just get nominated?
These are all the nominations it got.
Oh my gosh.
Worst Original Song.
Well, there you go. I think it's all attributed to the bat nipples. They were bad luck.
They were bat luck, more like.
Oof. And with that, I think that's a pretty good crash course in the first
earliest of
40 years of Batman, right? Math?
Yeah.
Sure.
41? No. 31.
We'll just round up and say
1966 to 1966 to 1997 is 31 years.
Great. But then, we don't have another one until the 2000s, so I think we're kind of still counting that.
Live action anyways.
Yeah.
All right, shall we partake in some
Let's
random
do
topics?
some random topics. I can't say I don't think there's any Batman ones in here, but because I don't know what's in here.
We'll get the one Batman one this time.
Honestly, it would happen. All right, we got a nice blue one.
Very good.
Wait, I feel like we already did this. Cast the movie about your life. We kind of did that. But who would narrate? Morgan Freeman or Benedict Cumberbatch?
Are those my only options?
Those are the only options on the sticky note.
Oh. Cumberbatch.
I think I would have to take Morgan Freeman.
I would just want him to be credited as like Brandy Snatch Cucumber Witch.
Okay, we'll do another one. Do you have posters on your room walls, and what are they of?
Not in my room, but I have a Shining poster and a Bohemian Rhapsody poster in my kitchen.
Ooh. I have, well, here's the thing. I moved, and I didn't take a lot of my posters with me, because I didn't want them to get damaged in the car, and also I'm only living here temporarily, so I didn't feel like hanging stuff up. I do have 2 posters right now. They're 2 posters I designed for our most recent shows for the theater I'm working at. Those are the only posters I have at my current place. But I used to have, at my old bedroom, I had a bunch of posters from various plays and then a couple short films. And then that I was a part of. I like to collect posters from projects I've been in and done and worked on. But then
That's weird.
I have some posters at my parents' house, and I'm trying to remember what they are. I just hung them up too. What do I have? I don't even know. Never mind.
But they exist.
I think I
and that's the
have.
only thing that
Oh,
really
I have.
matters.
I do know I have a Doctor Who 50th anniversary poster.
Wish.
And I have a Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse poster.
Ooh, very pretty.
Yeah.
I should get one of those.
And I have. Well, it's not a poster, but I have a painting, like one of those spray paintings of like some planets.
Cool.
Yeah. Those are the posters.
Yay.
Yay.
Well, I think that about wraps it up. Come back next week for part 2
Part
of our
2.
Batman trilogy podcast episodes.
We're gonna.
And we maybe will have a guest. You'll
Maybe,
just have to listen and find out.
Yeah, we're gonna continue on with our Batman series and talk about
Dark Knight trilogy.
Dark Knight trilogy. Yep.
By one Christoph Nerlin.
Yeah. That guy.
He seems nice.
Good guy. Met him once. No, I didn't. I wish. Anyways, tune in next week for more Batman. Don't sue us. Okay. Bye, y'all.
Thank you.
Come back.
Bye.